Brand building at its core is a very boring thing. AI is really great at scaling slop. A lot of marketers these days operate behind layers of abstraction. I would urge all young marketers to do would be to start speaking the language of business, not just the language of marketing. Brand building at its core is a very boring thing. But most marketers overcomplicate it. At its core, brand building or marketing is about identifying consumer pain points, figuring out how your product or your solution can solve that pain point at a reasonable rate, and then making your product and service mentally and physically available. You do it then consistently over a long period of time, boring periods of time. And secondly, marketing and brand building both are contact sports. The quality of your judgment is directly proportional to your proximity to market reality. The further you move away from market reality, the lesser the quality of your judgment becomes. So you always start with diagnosis and then let the diagnosis lead to strategy and then let the strategy lead to execution and tactics. A lot of marketers get this backward. Well, first and foremost, become the owner of the consumer point of view in the room. Make that your monopoly. There are a lot of other functions that own a large part of the business. Sales owns the channel and the distribution and trade. The business teams own the P&L. Your product team owns product roadmap. But who actually owns the consumer voice within the organization? And who is seen as the person who can bring in the vox populi into the room? If you become that person, then you'll become indispensable. And the second thing I would urge all young marketers to do would be to start speaking the language of business, not just the language of marketing. The best marketers I know don't start from what's a great idea that I can execute or what's a great campaign that will win me awards. What they will do is go and talk to the CEO or the founder and understand the business challenge in granular detail and then try and figure out how marketing can help solve that challenge. If you become that person, then you're actually contributing to the business. Marketing now no longer becomes a cost function, but a revenue function. And the third thing I would urge a lot of marketers to do, in fact, all of them to do, is to learn to tell good stories, not feel-good stories. The new age marketers are going to be narrative storytellers. So I use AI constantly in my line of work. I use AI as a research partner, as a devil's advocate to stress test my thinking and to help me create first drafts for a lot of my content creation. What I've learned after using AI for so long and so continuously is that AI is really great at scaling slop. So the quality of thinking at the beginning of creating a workflow for AI is what's going to determine the output. And if your quality of thinking is subpar or mediocre, the output is going to be very subpar. And in fact, AI will help you accelerate the rate at which you will produce subpar content. Even though I have built custom AI agents to help outsource a lot of the work that I do, including positioning and content creation and research synthesis, I still want to make sure that I am the interface that creates and thinks through the narrative that gets told to the consumers or my clients. I don't want to outsource that because otherwise it does not help me keep my brain sharp. So marketing is at its core about understanding why humans behave the way they do. And so for me, marketing canon is less interesting than reading from outside it, like a lot of history, politics, and philosophy, because it helps you understand human beings much better. I also love watching stand-up comedians because comedians also have decoded human behavior very sharply, and they use humor to let the stories land, and therefore you learn much more a lot faster. But if you want marketing books, two books that I recommend often are How Brands Grow by Byron Sharp and Zero to Scale by Arindam Paul. Byron Sharp's book forces you to confront evidence over intuition. And it makes sure that you understand that there is a lot of technical aspects to how marketing operates as a science and a discipline. And especially folks who are just starting out in this field should read it, in my opinion, so that they understand how the technical aspects of marketing work at a fundamental level. Arindam is a operator marketer who has over the last 10 years built one of the best brands in India, Atomberg. And he has distilled all the learnings that he has taken and he has learned over that 10-year period and put it into this book. So super useful for marketers who want to build brands in India. And finally, a very shameless plug-in. I have written a book. It's called The Story Map. It will be published by Penguin in August of 2026. The concept behind story maps is very simple. As I have mentioned before, crafting great, good business building narratives is going to be one of the superpowers for marketers in the next 5 years. But a lot of professionals that I see, not just marketers, but all professionals, believe for some reason that great storytelling is something that you're born with. If you're not a natural storyteller, then you can't really tell stories. So, in the story map, I have set out to dispel that myth. I read and write obsessively. I love reading history, whether it be military campaigns, World War II, political work, biographies. And the reason why I love doing that is because human behavior repeats at scale. There are patterns that you can start to observe and learn every single time you read, say, about the Roman civilization or about world wars or about military and political power struggles across nations. Uh, Once you start learning to identify these patterns, it becomes more easier for you to identify those same patterns repeating at scale in real time in your present day life as well. And I find that fascinating. So reading history and reading biographies helps you understand this a lot. I also write a lot on LinkedIn and my newsletters and my book, The Story Map, which comes out in August. Writing helps me clarify and complete my thoughts. I have been part of the Tata Group for a while now in various capacities. So my answer might be a little biased, but I really love the Tata Group. And the reason why I love them is because over a period of 150 years, through multiple layers of succession, they have built a branded house that truly stands for trust in India. Another brand that I really love is The Whole Truth for a couple of reasons. One is in a category that was saturated by a lot of marketing claims that people had started to disbelieve. The Whole Truth came in as a challenger brand and very boldly stood against the kind of overhyped marketing claims and indecipherable back of pack labels that a lot of the brands in the category had. And more importantly, Shashank is a great storyteller and he has imbued that entire organization with his storytelling skills. And I'm actually looking forward to a lot of the marketers and employees of the Whole Truth who eventually will leave Whole Truth and will start their own brands. And I really want an entire new generation of narrative focused brand builders coming out of the Whole Truth factory and setting up their own companies and startups in India. And lastly, one Indian brand that I really love is the Daily Objects. In a product which is as commoditized as tech accessories, they fused form and function together in a way that is not very often seen in this category. And I really love using their products. My phone case is a Daily Objects product. This is not a endorsement by any means, but I really love the way they have fused function with aesthetic designs in tech accessory space.